Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw News Brief. We're going to try to keep this one brief for you today. Larson, what's in the news?
So on the heels of her WWE release and then the Trashgate incident that followed where her belongings were sent back to her by WWE in a trash bag inside of a box, Mickie James appeared on the Grown Ass Woman podcast to talk about her frustrations with creative during her most recent time at WWE. And how her pitch for a women's wrestling show was apparently shut down. These transcripts are from Fightful. That's what she had to say. Quote, anything I've pitched, they weren't into it. I wanted to find a balance in between. There was this moment where I said, what if we do an all-female brand? If I could help lead up that and have an awesome team of women, we have the talent, tools, and facilities. It would really help all the girls who are not getting television time. This one person says to me, they're never going to do it, ever. Women's wrestling doesn't make money. WWE Evolution was the lowest rated pay-per-view ever in WWE. I get what you're trying to do, but I don't understand why you're fighting so hard for it. You should play the card you're dealt and see if there's a way to incorporate that within a show rather than fight for it to be its own show. She continues, I just realized that every decision they do, a lot of it is business and how it falls in line with business. I'm just disappointed as a whole with being made to feel old with the pens and a walker and the whole ageism thing. I think we missed out on a lot of moments, whether it was me tying Trish's record and Charlotte tied that and beat me, or the Chelsea Green angle. I originally pitched that angle for Liv because I love Liv. There were several moments we could have done and should have done that we missed the boat on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For as far as they've come with women's wrestling in the WWE, they have a long way to go, because when you look at legends like still active legends like Randy Orton, guys like that who have been around for a long time. I mean, they brought Edge back as soon as he was able to. Mm-hmm. A lot of the guys who've been there a little bit longer, like they have missed out on a lot of opportunities in the women's side of things. When it comes to like Mickie James specifically, because, she still has a lot to give in terms of actual wrestling. Yes. And she has a rich backstory and a rich history with the WWE. Yep. It is a shame that they don't approach legends in that capacity the way they do the same with the men. So there is a lot of work there to do. In terms of, what she said about a women's specific brand, if what she told was true in terms of WWE not believing that women's wrestling makes money, who am I to argue with their assessment of their own business? But I thought that in terms of developing your talent, that seems like it could have been a cool idea. But that's WWE's business model. It's hard to argue with that, But
yeah. Speaking of WWE's business model, that can go back to some semblance of how it used to be, starting around SummerSlam, maybe. We don't know where SummerSlam's going to be, but WrestleVotes is hinting at something. It's very vague, very nebulous. Let's see if we can parse this tweet and speculate on a destination. That's what WrestleVotes had to say about SummerSlam. Quote, hearing a hot SummerSlam location rumor that would excite a ton of people, but not at liberty to disclose yet, simply because those discussions are still in flux. However, considering many cities are starting to lift restrictions, I wouldn't expect any announcement prior to June.
Okay.
It's another month away.
You are typically better at remembering locations than I am in terms of like wrestling events.
All right.
What do you think this could be? The first thing that comes to mind when it's like, oh, a hot location, the only thing I can think of is MSG.
Uh-huh.
That's all I can think of.
I'm thinking literally
actual
Las Vegas.
Temperature-wise hot. Okay.
And a lot of people would be excited to go to Las Vegas because there's a lot of things to do in Las Vegas.
Yeah, there are.
Literally hot, especially in the summer.
Okay. Yeah.
Have it at the Raiders football stadium.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Vegas where that last UFC 261 took place? Was that in Vegas?
I don't know. I don't know where that last fight took place. Wasn't
it
in Florida?
I assume all that shit's taking place in Florida because it's the only place crazy enough to let all those people in.
It's 261, you said?
261, yeah. Let's see who gets it first.
Yeah, Jacksonville. Arena.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, MSG, I don't know if they want to run inside of a building and not have an open air place.
I was trying to think of places where they would, because They could do open air venues, but they'd have to be football or soccer stadiums. They couldn't be baseball stadiums, probably because the setup time would probably be too long, even if the team's on a road trip to do it at a baseball stadium.
Right.
So, I mean, I know mid-August is right on the cusp of the football season, but you know, I think they can load in and load out probably in enough time. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know what the preseason is going to look like in the NFL this year. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I would think it'd be much more likely to happen at a football stadium than a baseball one.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. Also interesting, the rumors of AEW moving off Wednesdays potentially with this hockey deal and Warner's. Tony Khan made comments about that. He appeared on Busted Open Radio, talked about the possibility of moving AEW to a different night after Turner inked that deal with the NHL. He said this: "I know Wednesday night is our slot and our home. I'm thrilled with our partnership with TNT. It's the lifeblood of our company and our primary revenue source. It's the way most fans get exposed to AEW and see our show. Every Wednesday that we do Dynamite, for a lot of wrestling fans, it's a really important night of the week. I want everyone to be rest assured that they're not going to have to worry about these kinds of major. We have a contract with over 2.5 years left for Wednesday nights in this slot. If there was ever an opportunity to move or a deal to be had, I would consider it. If we did something, it would have to be a really good deal for AEW and make sense for us. As it stands right now, that is the spot we're in. If we move, I would certainly consider a deal if there was something in it for AEW." In other AEW news, the ratings are in and they're down. But coverage of Biden's address last night dominated the cable ratings, which meant that AEW's numbers obviously would take a hit. 889,000 total viewership with the .33 in the 18 to 49 demo.
The all important demo.
Sorry, forgot that qualifier there. The all-important 18 to 49 demo.
10th in all of cable television. Yeah, the Biden's address coverage of that from the news networks dominated the top 5.
Yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer. The more interesting number is just going to be blood and guts. It's always interesting to track, the big events, the enthusiasm for the product. It's always an interesting thing to keep an eye on.
And AEW did a pretty darn good job last night in building up to that blood and guts match.
They sure did.
That segment with Inner Circle and Pinnacle was really good. So.
NXT UK just went down today. We did a live watch along like we do every single week on the Twitch at twitch.tv/Stephen Larson. Also a reminder, tonight, 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Also on the Twitch, we'll be co-streaming Impact Wrestling with the Enforcer. You'll get to see Impact Wrestling on our screen as it happens, on our TV screen as it happens.
TV screens, yes.
I know, I'm old. It's a lot of fun every single week. We have a ton of friendos that come out for it. But yeah, we did a watch along for NXT UK. Opened up with Teoman versus the debuting Rohan Raja. He had a quick promo about turning his dreams into reality and making his WWE debut. But that debut wasn't too exciting because Teoman ripped his shoulder out of its socket. They even did. So he was in a submission and he like torqued it back, and they did like a sound effect, like a grinding, crackling sound effect that was pretty horrifying but very effective. And Teoman got on the mic afterwards as Raja was writhing in pain, and he said, "I don't know if you're stupid or brave. Do you see that the eye is watching all of?" I don't know, all of what?
I don't know.
Just an interesting twist of
all
words there.
He's pointing to his eye. After that, we had a video package for, are they just being called Subculture now, not South Wales Subculture anymore?
Well, they were talking a lot about subculture.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, there was like a title thing that popped up.
It just said, then that's it. That's because they're kind of a trio now, yeah.
Yeah, it's Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster, and Danny Luna.
Yeah.
It was kind of a video package for them. Yeah, and they made a quick Ilya Dragunov interview. He's about to talk. He's quickly interrupted by Mastiff.
He's like the Elias of UK. He's always interrupted. Like, they're always trying to he's always trying to spill his emotional guts about this temper issue he has. And it's always somebody interrupting him, even, with pure intentions like Mastiff today.
Yeah, he's just being friendly. He just goes up to him and says, "Hey, I could sympathize with your temper issues. How about this? In the spirit of competition, let's try to beat the temper out of each other." And Ilya says, "You're on."
Yeah, he's gonna try to help him out. After that, slimy Sid Scala introduces Kaylee Ray. She gives him some static for his introduction, says it wasn't good enough. She talks about being the longest reigning women's champ in all of WWE. She lists off some names that she took down: Toni Storm, Piper Niven, Jenny, Meiko Satomura. And then Sid's like, hey, we got a pretty strong stacked women's division here. We're going to have an elimination 5-way match. And the winner of that gets a title shot, and they introduce them via some dramatic spotlights, and they're just chilling on the side of BT Sports Arena there. It was Ginny, Isla Dawn, Zaya Brookside, Danny Luna, and Millie McKenzie. And Kayla Ray looks at him, unimpressed, says, don't get your hopes up. None of y'all have what it takes to beat the forever champion.
Correct. After that, a pretty deadly video package. And what's their catchphrase?
Oh, boy. Boy, howdy. Boy, please? I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyway.
These guys have, like, true heel heat with me, man. I just want to see them get their asses kicked.
I could tell.
They're so irritating, but in that good way that you want.
I could tell. And then we had a Tyler Bate, A-Kid video package. They're going to have their Heritage Cup match in 3 weeks.
Therefore, I want 2 weeks of video packages of Tyler Bate connecting with nature. That's been his thing. All being Zen-like, that's the Tyler Bate that I want to see. After that, we had Shaw Samuels versus Levi Muir, who I had not seen before. And then Shaw wins with his spine buster finish, Mind the Gap, which is what I named it because he's themed with London Underground subway system, public transit stuff. Mm-hmm. So, like, we were sitting there during the watch along thinking, what could his finisher be named? I don't even know that he did a spine buster for a finish, but what could it be named? Mind the Gap.
Is that he was doing a Cobra Clutch, named it what the Butcher's
Hook.
Yeah.
He's not a butcher.
No, he's a Subway customer service representative.
Or a connoisseur of the Subway. Maybe he knows the history of the London Underground.
Could be.
You know.
Regardless,
that's his thing.
He's a finisher that's in line with the theme of his gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Mind the Gap.
Next, we had Tread 7 interview. He's talking about the journey he's been on the last couple months. How exciting he's been. He's like, hey, if I continue to have an influence, positive influence here, it's great. I'm one of the founding fathers of NXT UK. Sam Gradwell.
Oi, Yogurt! One of the founding fathers. I signed my contract on the same day for the same money as you. But I came back from a career-ending injury. I can't say career in my bad British accent, my Gradwell voice. He says he came back from a career-ending injury, and nobody batted an eye. Well, and then he says, you're not on my level. You're not on my level. And then he walked away, and Trent Seven just looked sad.
He ruined Trent Seven's day.
He was having a nice day. He was probably on his way for some tea and scones, and maybe later on some kebabs and a pint. And then Gradwell just pissed all over that.
Yeah.
Now he's going to go home and watch some Coronation Street. I don't know, man.
I don't know either. After that, we had this is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Valkyrie. How do you pronounce her first name again?
Effie.
Effie. Yes, thank you.
Eva? Eva.
No, it wasn't Eva.
Effie.
Aoife. That's what it is. Aoife Valkyrie versus Meiko Satomura. Man, this match is really good.
Yeah.
They gave it a ton of time, and it delivered. Meiko picks up the win with what's their kick called again?
Scorpio Rising.
Yeah.
But the only thing, it's not really rising because she just like brings that leg down with thunder on the back of her opponent's neck. It was amazing.
Great match.
Valkyrie was on quite the win streak. She was having confidence issues. She'll probably just sink back down into having more confidence issues, but she shouldn't. She put on a really great match here with Meiko.
This is a really good match. It was really good. Really, really good.
Highlight of the night was next, Symbiosis video package. So
oh dear.
Now formerly known as the Pack, they got rid of Wild Boar, brought on Tyson T-Bone, and so they needed a new name apparently. And so they're up against the chain link fence, and Eddie Dennis rattles off some nonsense. So like each guy, like I forget what Primate's deal was, but Tyson T-Bone said, I'd lost my way. Oh, Primate said he was born on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And then Tyson T-Bone said, I used to be the most dominating presence
No one could stop me.
Yeah, no one could stop. But I remember that guy eating a lot of losses.
Yeah, he didn't win a lot.
And then he said, I went away, found myself. I lost my way. I found my way. And now I'm back. And then Eddie Dennis says something like, they're my ammunition, and I'm the machine gun. And
based on their Tron, their video package, it's like someone read Secret Wars.
Symbiosis.
And like the origins of Venom.
Yeah.
And that's their thing now.
I saw a movie called Venom.
My favorite Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man 3.
They got that kid from that 70s show to be Venom. After that, we had elongated Kenny Williams, Amir Jordan video package, where Amir Jordan just throwing out all sorts of slander towards Kenny Williams, calling him scum. And Kenny Williams brings up the excellent point of he knew what kind of competitor I was from the get-go. Like talking about back in 2018 when they got together.
Yep.
And Amir Jordan's like, why can't he just not be like that? And he's like, dude, that's how he was. Why are you trying to change people?
It's like, this is who I am. This is who I've always been.
That's a life lesson right there, man. Because I believe in wins and lessons. You need to learn.
Wins and learning.
Wins and learning. Well, you learn lessons. You got to learn. You can't change people. You shouldn't try. People are the way they are. They will either evolve on their own or they won't. You shouldn't try to change people. Unless they're like super hooked on drugs, then it's probably advisable you try to change that. Anyways, next week, we've got Ilya versus Mastiff. We've got Supernova Sessions with Nathan Frazier. And then we had our main event, Symbiosis versus Gallus. Gallus boys, were taken to the limits. But in the end, Coffee pinned Primate after his rolling elbow. Not their limits. Like were there limits within sight? Not even at the precipice of being in sight. No. Okay. Middle of their limits.
Yeah.
Walk through the park of their limits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, middle of the road of their limits. Yeah, that's good.
Coffee got the win. Joe Coffee got the win after his rolling elbow.
Yeah, Primate.
Yeah, I'm Primate. Tonight we got SmackDown. Oh, that's right. The Enforcer is doing tomorrow night we got SmackDown. Today's Thursday.
Oh, that's right, man. My days are all mixed up.
Oh, yogurt. So we'll do
a preview for our SmackDown preview. Expect the SmackDown preview for tomorrow's news brief.
There you go. And the Enforcer's taking out because I was like, wait a second, that's not today. Anyways, we're going to be doing Impact later on. Also, Friendo Club TV, that's coming up at 3 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, ask Steven Larson.
It's Ask Steven Larson. So, Friendo Club TV, $5 on the Patreon, YouTube channel membership, Twitch sub. You can check that out as well. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.